Hey, what's going on, everyone? I am back for another Slim Sports interview. And as always, I'm your host, Jay Slim. And joining me today is a bucket getter, literally the definition of it. You look it up, her picture is there. 5'8" guard that has over 2,000 career points and just won the WNIT with the Buffalo Bulls. Chella Watson, what's going on?
Hey, how you doing? Thank you for having me.
Hey, absolutely. You are welcome anytime you want with the accolades that you've gotten, the championships you've won. Absolutely incredible what you've done just in your college career. And now, obviously, looking to take that to the professional ranks. And I want viewers that are going to be watching this to understand, just how dominant you've been the past couple of years in a quick little segment that I like to call Rewind and Recap. Just going to rewind the clock back to last season, where not only were you an all conference high level scorer for your team, but also a 2024 honorable mention All American, one of the best in the entire NCAA. And then this past season, reached over that 2,000 career point mark. For the second straight year, you were an All MAC first team selection, and then helped lead the Bulls to a great run in the WNIT 2025 WNIT champions on the season. So you've had back-to-back incredible seasons. I know in the 23-24 season, you averaged around 23 points per game. You were, I believe, top five in the NCAA in scoring, one of the best of the best. This past season, you continued that, another 20 plus point per game season. So coming off that, the 23-24 season, obviously, you can score on anybody that gets in your path. What would you say was your mentality entering this past season as far as, what else you needed to do or what you needed to do to help your team, stuff like that?
Yeah, so as you said, it's very obvious that I could score. I would talk to my coaches, just talk to my family, my coaches, and everybody always talking about my scoring, but I feel like I'm a great rebounder at the guard position. I feel like I could pass pretty well. We had a great point guard this year, Lonnie Cornfield. She was top in assists, so I really wasn't like there to pass. I was there to score, but I could still pass coming off just scoring a lot last year. I wanted to make sure that I could be as consistent as possible. I didn't want to average around 12 or 13 because I mean that just sounds like a one season type of deal, one great season, and then she's not really consistent. So I wanted to make sure, like whether it was 19 and up, I wanted to make sure that was one of my main goals. And I knew that was going to help my team. I knew if I scored 20 plus almost every night that we had a great chance to win. So that was my mindset on winning, being consistent, and also just showing that I could rebound. I know at Upstate I averaged around 3 rebounds. I know I got it up to around 5, almost 6 this year. So just let them know I can rebound and do more than just score.
Yeah, you definitely showed that you can do more than just scoring. I want to touch on those numbers real quick. 5 rebounds per game, 3 assists per game to go along with those 20.6 points per game as well. So you were able to do a little bit of everything to help your team. And that was key at the start of the season where you guys started off 12-0 on the year. How important was that 12-0 start to have the overall season that you guys had?
I mean, it was everything. Just making history for Buffalo in general. They haven't had a start like that, and I don't think ever. So just making history for Buffalo, and then just starting off strong, knowing that going into conference is going to be really tough. Knowing that we'll have to grind out games, and we were a team this year that caught ourselves, falling behind and having to climb back in, more than 50% of the game. So just having that strong start, it gave us a lot of confidence going in, knowing that we can play with anybody, we can play with everybody. And like we haven't lost yet. We're going in the MAC conference, and a couple teams got losses, and we're the only team that's standing undefeated. So we kind of had a little chip on our shoulder, and we were just confident in each other. And we had a tough win against Vermont. They got up 23 points on us, and that was one of our last conference games. So just beating them and finishing off 12-0 in the conference, or I think, yeah, 12-0 in the conference, coming back from a 23-point deficit, we was like, can nobody beat us? We're just we thought we were the best, and that just was a good start for us, and and for the program.
Yeah, and ended up leading them to a historic season, first ever 30-win season in Buffalo history. Went 30-7 overall, 13-5 in MAC conference action, with the best scoring offense in the entire conference. You guys ranked first in points per game, field goal percentage, and point differential. Averaged around 74 points per game while shooting 46% from the field as a team. And then you guys ranked third in the MAC conference in points allowed per game. So not only could you guys score the ball, but you could play hard-nosed defense on the other end as well. So talking real quick about how this team was just so efficient and balanced on both ends of the court to where you guys were able to dominate night in and night out.
Just the consistent work we put in each and every day. Coach Burke, like she's different. She's one of one. You're really not going to find a coach like her. Um, Leading up into MAC play, like she told us, this is a new season. It's time. We're going to have the best defense and we're going to take smart shots. And I think the 46% as a team goes on to just the unselfishness, the want to get the best shot instead of just get your shot. Instead of just getting my points, we want a great shot as a team. And it doesn't really matter who get all the points and who gets the shine. And I think like Coach Burke kind of instilled that in us, and we practiced like it. We prepped like it. Film was like it. How we did one thing was how we did everything. And it came from Coach Burke. She like at Upstate, we had the same mindset. We was top in defense at Upstate. We was top in percentage at Upstate, and like she's never gonna change who she is, and how she coaches her team. You probably don't know. You probably do know, but she's headed to Arizona.
Yep, I
Um,
was just about to ask you about that.
yeah.
I saw that yesterday.
Yep. So we talked about it last night, and it's sad. I wish I could go with her, because we've been together for so long, and she feels the same way. But it's time for us to just move on separate ways, bigger and better, with both of us. And I'm proud to see what she does, and I know she's proud to see, what I'm doing in my next, steps. So just Coach Burke and it wasn't just Coach Burke though. It was Coach JC, it was Coach James, and it was Coach Aaron, and it was the rest of the staff.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure she would bring you in a heartbeat to Arizona with her if she could. If you had one more year of eligibility, I'm sure she would. But obviously, you made some big time moments and big time highlights this past season at Buffalo. And I want to talk about a few of them in a quick segment that I like to call Make That Play. I went through on Synergy every single made basket you had this past season, well over 200, by the way. So I was there for about an hour or two looking through them. But I put together my top three plays from this past season that you had. But obviously, I'm just the fan in the stands. I'm just the guy looking at the stats and all that stuff. You're the one actually on the court doing what you do best. What would you say was your top play from this past season?
Top play, I would say, in the Toledo game at home. We were down. And the play was to get the inbound and hand it off to Lonnie, and they were going to set me a flare to try to get the catch and shoot three. And we had already ran it about 3 times, but the ref like was blowing a whistle, figuring out the clock, and I think they kind of seen our alignment. So in my head, I'm like, they know what we're about to do, so I'm just going to do my own thing. So I faked it off to Lonnie. I took a couple dribbles, went between the legs, and as I watch it over and over, I see Coach Burke like trying to call a time. As I'm doing all of that, I guess she don't think I'm about to cook. She's trying to call a time, but I let it off. I let the shot off before, and it was right in front of our bench as the time was expiring, and it was a three to like tie the game up against Toledo. It went crazy. It was crazy in there.
I remember there were two Toledo ones that I had on my list, and they actually got bumped to 4 and 5. I kid you not, they were 4 and 5 on my list because the other top three, to me, it was just incredible what you were able to do. And the first one, you'll understand why, because
Yeah.
game winner against Bowling Green in that MAC tournament.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah. Of
You
course. Yeah.
came,
Okay.
took it all the way down the court, got the inbound pass right down the court, took the defender one-on-one straight to the basket, and through contact, made that layup for a 65-63 win against a very tough Bowling Green team.
Mhm.
And then number two, it wasn't just one basket for this, it was kind of a sequence, three straight buckets that you got against Vermont. And then number three, killer crossover against St. Bonaventure. You talk about how you cooked against Toledo. You hit a killer crossover against St. Bonaventure, took him towards the baseline, hit him with a spin move, and then laid it up like it was nothing. So those are my three for make that play. And I got to talk about this confidence that you have when it comes to scoring the ball. Obviously, you've been able to do this since your time at Upstate. I'm sure you gained your confidence a little bit, while you were playing at a high level with Cincinnati. But these past two seasons alone, obviously, what you were able to do was incredible, earned you All American honors. And how you weren't MAC Player of the Year this year, I don't understand, in my opinion. But talk to me real quick about this confidence and ability to score that you have. How have you managed to get it to such a high level?
Just the work I put in with Coach Berg, work I put in with my teammates, just getting shots up, consistent shots. One thing about me, every time I work out, it's going to be like super hard. Like I'm never doing anything slow pace or like any laziness. When I get in, I put that work in. I go hard as I can, and like that's my break. When I'm done, I feel relieved. I feel like I put work in for the day, and I don't go in to just go 50%. And I'm gonna tell Coach Burke to watch this clip, so she'll definitely be watching this whenever it drops on YouTube. Like whenever she will work me out, like everything always 100% with me, and not even just her. My high school coach, Coach Guerin, back in Georgia. Every time we work out, it's always 100% because once I go 100% by myself or with the cone in front of me or with the dummy defense in front of me, I know once I get in that real game, the game slows down. When that ball screen set for me, I don't got to go 100 miles per hour. I got to read the defense, and I'm used to going hard and finishing hard. So just getting game-like shots, game-like rhythm, and just having that swag and that confidence. Like even if my shot is not falling, I know I'm going to get to the free throw line to try to get my shot to fall. Respectfully, I felt like it was my time. So, like, I think that's where the confidence comes from, and just the work you put in. You know, you put the work in, so you know it's going to show.
Oh, absolutely. And I mean, you had some big time performances throughout the season overall. And I mean, even going back to last year, your first year with Buffalo, I believe you had 47 points for a single game record at
Yeah.
the University of Buffalo. So you've shown what you can do at a high level, and that continued on into the WNIT run that you guys had. 26 points in UMass in the second round. Quarterfinals, you had 28 against Rutgers, and then 23, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists in that championship game against Troy. So you were able to do a little bit of everything for your team to help lead them to a trophy. Talk to me real quick about that run in that WNIT tournament, because I know you guys had some very close games. That UMass game went into overtime, obviously going against the Power Four team in Rutgers, and then Troy, who we'll talk a little bit more about here in a sec. What was that run like for you guys, and what was your mindset going in and the message to your teammates to win the whole thing?
Just we fell short on our ultimate goal, which was a MAC championship. Knowing that we still had an opportunity to play, whether we this was a tournament or not, the NIT was a tournament or not, or whether they just put us in a postseason game, we were happy to play, and I think that showed at practice. We got 2 days off that weekend, and then we came back and coach was like, we're hosting. We get a first round bye. Coach told us we got rings and a trophy after this, and everybody's smiling like, we can win this thing. And we're just looking at the bracket, and we're like, these teams, we can beat these teams. Like, let's just go win this thing. And our first round against UMass, we did what we always do. Digged ourselves a hole and we came back. Like it was kind of crazy. Like Coach Burke says it all the time. She don't really know how we do it, but we do it. And 30 games in the season, she wasn't going to change anything. So that's just how we did everything. Just going into each game and each prep one by one. When we beat UMass, we was just like, that's just one. Like it's time for the next one. We wasn't, we didn't get too high, we didn't get too low, because we knew it wasn't over, and we knew our ultimate goal was to win it. So our preparation and our work, it never changed. You would think, we were still in the MAC tournament or still in the conference. So feel like just the preparation and everything, and just the want to celebrate at the end and finish off the right way for all of our seniors. And after that, we found out Coach JC was leaving during the Cleveland before the Cleveland State game. So we were like, we're going to win this thing for you, Coach, and send you off with something like this. So
Hey, that's awesome right there to hear that you guys still managed to, want to win for your coach. You knew that she was leaving, wanted to give her a ring out the door. So that was awesome right there. And I can't wait to see what she does at Arizona, like I said before. But I want to talk about this championship game against Troy because it's the same team you guys played very first game of the season, which I don't
yeah,
know if I've ever seen that before or when the last time I saw that was, but to end the season winning a title against the same team you started off the season with, obviously beating them both times, but both very close games. Talk me real quick about how that was kind of like a perfect ending to the season to kind of finish things off the same way that you started.
it was kind of weird, because I kept coming to the gym and I'm like, yo, we might play Troy again. Like they were like, nah, we might. I don't think we'll see him. They're like on the like, we'll just meet up with him in a championship. Like we won't see him. And I'm like, all right, it's getting to the Final Four. They're still in it. Like we might see him again. And to be honest, Coach brings up the first game of the season all the time because she told us that was one of our best, like, deep box out games. She was just telling us like she really liked what we did in the Troy game. I honestly, Troy was one of my favorite games. Like even though it was the very first game of the season, it was one of my favorite games. It was it was a lot of talking, like a lot of it was competitive though. Like they had a lot of hoopers, we had hoopers, so it was a good matchup, a good game. So I really liked it. And just in and off with them. It was kind of unreal. They were like, we got to play Troy again, but we knew watching them this whole season that like they were a whole different team than we played them in like December, like November. So we told ourselves like we got to do what we did against them the first time. We got to do even better. And like I don't know, the whole game is just like a blur to me. Like it's so crazy. I'm still thinking about it now. But like honestly, I really enjoyed playing them. Like they're a great team. Got some great players, and like I feel like just the preparation for that game. I feel like we made adjustments for Troy, and like that put us a little bit above them, so we could get the win.
Absolutely. And players like yourself, who, I mean, obviously people know who you are now because of the high level scoring, but your teammates, credit to them for what they were able to do to help pull off for that championship win. And credit to Troy, who both teams, there's a lot of players that are kind of underrated, don't get the spotlight that they deserve. And I want to give you a chance to shout out some players that, maybe I'm not fully aware of that I should have on the podcast this year, next year, and so on in a quick segment that I like to call Who's Up Next. In this segment, you can tell me some names, rattle off some numbers that I can look out for and be like, okay, let's have them on the podcast. But there are two rules. First of which, whoever you recommend got to help me get them on, got to help me reach out. And number two, you got to give me at least one name where they were not a teammate of yours at Buffalo this past season.
Okay. Okay, so the first name I'll go Kirsten, KLW. She's my favorite player this year. Now, since I'm done with college, she will be my returning favorite player in college basketball. She played here last year, well, this year and last year. Freshman of the year last year, averaging around 13 points. And then second team all conference this year. She's a different person though. Like she's built different. Like if we didn't have Kirsten on the floor, we wouldn't have won half of the games we've won. Even if I would have scored 30. I'm just trying to think. It's so many names, but all of my friends are like leaving this year, like with me too. So it's like I'm not the only one. But I'll go Rachel Rose. She just committed to Clemson. We played together at Upstate her freshman year. Crazy point guard. Is gonna make all the open threes. Will make any open shot. Just committed to Clemson. Was at Wofford her 2 years before that. So upstate her first year with me, Wofford for 2 years, and now she's going to do her last year at Clemson. So I'll say Kirsten Lewis Williams and Rachel Rose.
There you go. Those are two names I'm definitely going to be looking out for because if you say that they're dogs, then I need to have them on because they're some dogs. So
Yep.
definitely cannot wait to have them on. And now that we've talked about who's up next, gotta talk about what's next for yourself. I know you just declared for the WNBA draft. You're getting ready to hear your name on draft night here within the next couple months. Go through all of that process. Talk me real quick about what scouts should really notice about your game. Obviously, we know you're a high level scorer. You mentioned before, your rebounding ability, your ability to be a playmaker as well. What other aspects of your game on or even off the court about your personality that scouts should really look to have you as a part of their program?
Um, I would say I'm just a real genuine person, on and off the court. Very unselfish. I would say like I'm going to work hard in everything that I do. I'm not like I would say I'm a people's person. Like I'm always happy around people. I want everybody around me happy. I don't want the spotlight to always be on me. Um, I'd rather it on my best friend or my friend that is not in a position that I am in, and just to try to help them and build them up and build their confidence in whatever they're doing because most of my friends are not athletes. Some of my friends are, but some of them are they just got regular jobs or they work at stores and just trying to motivate them into doing a career or a path that they could do better. And just like even if a team don't need me to score, I'm able to do whatever they want me to do, and I'll put my mind on what they need me to do. And like I'll pivot for the team, for the coach, for myself, and like I'll just do whatever. Like I listen. I'm very coachable, and like whatever's need for me, like whatever they need for me to do, I'll do it. And if they need scoring, like I could give them scoring. So
There you go. I definitely can't wait to see what you do at the WNBA level. And I love how you talked about putting the spotlight on your friends and the people around you, because that's exactly why I do this podcast, give you guys a spotlight, talk about your story. And hopefully here soon, I can add another jersey to my collection, have a nice little WNBA jersey wherever you end up at with that last name Watson right across there and nice little autograph. So definitely excited to see what the future holds for you. And thank you so much for taking time out of your day to do this podcast with me.
thank you so much for having me. I'm so blessed to have this opportunity, and I can't wait till it's posted so I can tell my friends and family to watch.